All right, let's start with debriefing the 3 quarterfinal games that we didn't talk about. So let's do the Spain-Belgium one first. Belgium
Okay.
loses to Spain 2-1. For those that didn't see it, Spain won off of a Mikel Merino goal. Shortly before the goal, Belgium swaps their keepers. They take out Courtois because of an injury. They put in a backup, and then shortly thereafter, Spain scores. Super. Let's start with this question. Did Belgium lose because Courtois left the game?
Okay. I'm going to say no, only because I think Belgium would have lost that game anyways.
Mm.
But I do think that they conceded that winning goal because Courtois left the game. I don't think Courtois saves everything that he should save, and that's a very easy save to make. And I think you just saw nerves there, which stinks because it was a really I enjoyed the match. I thought it was a really good game. And you hate to see it decided that way. But I think ultimately, I think Spain was going to win that game, whether or not Courtois was in goal. But Courtois never lets in that. So
Yeah. One
it's a
thing that's interesting about that goal, Super, is I saw Joe Hart. You remember Joe Hart, the old England keeper? He was talking about how the way that the ball was made this World Cup, I think it's like there's less panels, so it has
yeah,
more swaz.
yeah,
And that's why there's more keeper rebounds. And remember in the Norway game, there was actually that rebound too, which set up Bellingham's
yeah.
second goal. So on the
Hey,
Belgium
I'll tell
thing,
you what, I hear you on that. I just didn't see a lot of movement. Like I hear you that
yeah,
like this
yeah.
ball might move a lot in other circumstances, but on those two goals, I don't see a lot of movement, especially like to cause blunders of that caliber. I,
I think it's fair.
nah,
I think it's fair.
I do agree though. I think the ball moves a lot when you watch it, but not on those two plays.
Not on
For
those two
me,
plays.
no. Yeah,
So I think with the Belgium keeper swap, I agree with you. Spain felt fully in control of that game. Even when Belgium scored, it never really felt like Spain was seriously threatened by Belgium.
yeah,
And so I don't know if it takes till the 116th minute, but it did feel to me like Spain would have won that. That said, if you do somehow last till PK shootouts, you gotta like having Courtois in goal,
I know, right?
right? Like you,
Yeah, I do think it's like, especially so. What Courtois was interviewed after the game, and they were like, "Why'd you come out?" And what he said is he was like, "I didn't ask to come out. It was the manager's decision. The manager asked me if I was 100%, and I told him, and I'm paraphrasing, and I told him that I just can't kick it long distances. I
mm,
can't kick it, 100 meters or more. That's like that's
that's what he
I
told
can't.
him.
Yeah, that's what. So, but I can do everything else. I'm good to go otherwise." And Rudy Garcia said, "All right, well, if you're not 100%, then you're coming off the
You're
field."
coming off.
And obviously, he puts in Lamens and
What do
blows
you
it.
think? What do you think happens if Lamens doesn't go in because they score in the 88th minute? Like, what happens if
Yeah, dude,
Courtois
it's
stays in?
like I do think you're right. I think like pens are definitely on the table because Spain needs like an accumulation of chances to score goals. Like that, they never they need a build up. They go for quantity of chances because they just don't have anyone that's like super duper lethal.
Yeah,
So look, we're going to extra time at least, and I don't think they're going to concede to Belgium, but like it's just a matter of like, okay, can you score in the first 30 minutes? And like Spain has really struggled to score multiple goals. So
they
I
have.
I think then you go into pens and like Courtois in goal, you'd back him over maybe anybody. So
One of the things that's interesting to that point about Spain having so much quantity is they're like the polar opposite of Norway, where it felt to me like Norway, think about the Brazil game. They got like 3 chances and they just scored 2 of them.
yeah,
Whereas Spain, it's like it feels like it takes them 10 to 12 chances, good
yeah,
chances,
yeah.
to finally put one in.
Huh. I agree.
And we'll get to like the Spain-France thing in a few minutes, but I wonder how that's going to kind of factor into the France game. Like how many chances are you actually going to be able to get against this France team? And if you don't put them away,
Well, and I think, like, to add to that, I think the question is, like, does Spain create a million chances, or do they make a million passes in the final third, and
uh,
we call it getting pretty close?
that's
You
a
know,
good
like
point. It's a really good
like,
point.
which one is it? Because thinking back, I'm like, yeah, I mean, although, like, I do feel like every game I come away from them and I'm like, Ferran Torres could have had 2 off the bench, and Dani Olmo could have had 3 in regulation, you
Yep.
know? Uh, they certainly control games, but, I don't know, like, they don't have a guy like they have in the past, like a David Villa or a Torres who were, like, super lethal.
Right.
Unless you wanna talk about Mikel Merino, in which case, like,
He's
he has
lethal.
been pretty lethal when
He
he's been on the
has been
field.
lethal.
So, maybe just play him the full 90 for
I
once.
right? Well, yeah, it's funny because I feel like he hasn't gotten enough attention because, like, Lamine Yamal wins man of the match for that game. Didn't have a
Yeah,
goal,
dude,
didn't have an
the man of the
assist.
match thing, they gotta figure out a way to
I know, to
fix
make it
it.
legit. Yeah.
They gotta fix the Michelob Ultra man of the match because, back in my day, the Michelob Ultra man of the match was just something that was reserved for
Yeah.
truly the best player on the field. And now the Michelob Ultra man of the match is just like,
It's
I don't know, it's a popularity contest,
I
you
know,
know?
which is
Every game that Ronaldo played in, he won it, and Lamar gets it, like, every game, and it's just like,
I just don't understand how Marino doesn't get it scoring the winning goal in back-to-back games. It's
yeah,
it's it's puzzling. And
yeah,
by the way, to your point of Spain had the ball a lot but didn't look that lethal, that's why I think the Courtois thing is so interesting to think about because it's not like Spain had, you know, all of these really like great chances. It was like there wasn't a lot like happening in the game in like the kind of 75th to 88th minute. And then there's the shot from 25 yards out that Lemon spills. And you got to think if Courtois in goal, he saves that probably
for sure,
comfortably. And
for
then now
sure.
you're in extra time and you're just a stone's throw away from heading into PK. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's weird. It's weird to think about.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, I know we'll save some of the more deeper Spain analysis for segment coming up. Let's pivot to England beats Norway. So England wins 2-1, but not without some controversy because their first goal hits the camera line allegedly, and then a Norway set piece gets called back. So question to think about for you, Foss, is let's start with this. How, was the did England was England a worthy winner in that game?
Okay, yes, England's a worthy winner, okay? And okay, yes, England was a worthy winner. However, it did hit the cable line, and then that's not a foul on Holland. So, and like both those things can be true, but I think it's a real shame that Norway's second goal was taken away and that the play wasn't called dead on Jude's first goal. England might still go on to win that game, but those are to me like clear errors, and I think really, really just like I'll tell you what, the ball hitting the video line is so frustrating because what they did is they said, "Okay, we're gonna look at the specometer, whatever it's called, that we put a chip in the ball, and this chip in the ball detects when it's touched." And that chip didn't detect anything touching it, and so, like, despite being able with the naked eye to, like, see that that ball just, like, dropped dead, we're not gonna call it. That's really frustrating because one, England went on to score, and then two, if you think about the Croatia-Portugal game, where Croatia's equalizing goal in the dying minutes of that game was called offside because they said, "Oh, the chip in the ball registered a touch." So even though to the naked eye it looks like nobody touches that ball,
Yeah.
the chip in the ball registered getting hit. And so for that reason, he's offside. And so that's two times that this chip has failed us. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Like this one was pretty easy to spot. So like why are we trusting this chip that we're debuting for the first time in this tournament to decide huge things such as this game and the Croatia game? I don't know. What did you say?
I think it's a good point. I mean, the counter argument to that is, did the chip get it wrong? Because I saw that FIFA put out that there was no flare up on their graph that they put out, and so it's like uh, there's a part of me that's just like, I trust the technology, because when I looked at the angle where it looks like it hits the line, the more I looked at it, the more I started doubting myself. I was like, is it really hitting the line? Is it just like a weird visual trap? And then I saw someone break down the angle, and they're like, that's totally normal. So I I don't know. That's the short answer. I don't know. My analytical part of me is like, I don't have a reason to not trust the technology. I would think that they would have tested it out thoroughly before implementing it in the World Cup. And even though the Croatia thing is invisible to the naked eye, is it possible that my eye misses a skim? Like, maybe.
Dude, I mean, I think it 100% hit the wire. My buddy Scott said it in real time. He was like, "Oh, I think it hit the thing." That's what he said. He said, "I think it hit
I
the thing."
think
And I was like, "Oh yeah, you might be right," because the way they're kind of like judging it, and then it drops forward,
yeah,
and like a Norway player doesn't challenge for the ball at all, and I think that's kind of indicative of what
they
happened. It's
saw
like
it. Yeah.
it hit the thing.
Right. Do you okay, so
So
how do you square what you just said, where England deserved to win, and yet their first goal doesn't count, and Norway should have scored another one? So mathing that's
so
3-1 Norway or 2-0
I
Norway.
yeah, no, I think, like, look, the game went to extra time, it was anybody's game. I think, like, both sides could have deserved the win. Norway did come very close to winning. I mean, they hit the crossbar, right? Sorloth had a 2v1, and he could have slipped it to Holland, and Holland
That
could have
was
finished.
embarrassingly
And
bad.
so, like, the chances were there for Norway, and I don't know, I think, like, Norway had, at least in the second half, I think Norway had the better of the play for the most part. So, like, I just hesitate anytime you tee me up to say, like, "Did they deserve it?" And it's just like,
Fair. I think it's fair.
yes, yes, Jude scores that goal to equalize, but when he does that, you have however many, like, you had after that, they had, like, 80 minutes to go actually win the game, and so, like, I just
Yeah.
hesitate to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that, like, "Oh, it hit the wire, this game is null and void."
I agree.
I think that deserving a game is like what comes with that is actually overcoming some
Mhm,
adversity.
mhm. It did
So
seem like it seemed like England was the better team. I am a bit puzzled by the Holland thing. What happened with Holland coming out of the game? Was he injured?
I don't think he was injured. I think he was just gassed.
He was gassed, so they just took him out?
Yeah, which I
That's
also thought was crazy, but also he was pretty quiet all game. But I think like if you want a goal in the dying minutes of a game, a gassed Holland over like 90% of the players in the world is who you're gonna take.
Yeah, and it's weird because he didn't, quote, "do anything" against Brazil until he did, and scored
Yeah,
2 goals in a matter of minutes. So it was a weird decision to take him out,
yeah.
I thought.
No,
I thought for sure he must have been injured.
yeah, no. According Nick just sent me something. He said that Solbakken said he was gassed and suffering a dead leg.
Okay. Alright.
So I don't know.
Can he
Yeah,
did they not get
maybe
enough
that was
rest when they rested, their starters against France? I
oh,
thought that was
come
the
on.
whole
That's so unfair. That's so unfair. Especially after what they've done now.
I
Come on.
know, I know.
It's a
I
good
can't
decision.
use that. If they had lost in the round of 16 or the round of 32, I would have 100% used that talking point. But it feels a little unfair in the
Yeah.
quarterfinals,
No, it
losing
could have been
narrowly
he
to
got
England.
tired from filming his YouTube vlogs. That might have
Yeah,
been what it
fair.
was.
Okay, that's fair.
Or it was the feels like temperature of 100 degrees in Miami in July.
See,
That
and
could be what it was.
that is deserving of hydration break. Where I don't like the hydration breaks is in Toronto, Canada, when it's 54 degrees
Yeah.
and cloudy.
So silly.
It's
So
crazy.
dumb. So
Um,
dumb.
okay, let's go to Argentina versus Switzerland. So Argentina scores 3 goals. Someone on the internet gets upset, and everyone's on the edge of their seats the entire game. In other words, just another day in the life for this Argentina team. Just another day in the office. So the pivotal moment that people are focusing on is, yet again, there's another call that falls Argentina's way. Embolo receives a second yellow for simulation. What are your thoughts on the Embolo second yellow?
I think it's really simple. If you dive, you get a yellow card. And he was already on a yellow card, and 2 yellows equal a red. And I think it's unfortunate for it to be decided that way. If I were in charge of the rules of the game, I would maybe make it so that you can't get a second yellow for simulation. But look, Paredes got a yellow for the tackle on Embolo. And if I don't think that was fair, obviously, because Embolo dived. So, like, you got to reverse that yellow, and the only way to reverse that yellow is to then say he dove, and if he dove, it's a second yellow. So
It's a yellow.
it's unfortunate, but I think it's not really, the controversy is not warranted. I think there are far more Argentina controversies that are riper than this one.
That are right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's pretty cut and dry. And like, you texted me right when it happened, and you were
Yeah.
like, "This is what the rules say. He has to receive a yellow. That's it."
I
And
was so quick
like,
on the draw.
and I looked at it and I was like, "Yeah, I know. Like, it's
But-
not. This is not going to be a big deal."
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, you scroll on Twitter the next day, and it's a really big deal.
It is. It's so frustrating.